What's going on, boys? It's your boy Sith, and we're coming out with a new video. The series that haven't continued in a while is gonna be IGL series, episode number 2. Which today we're gonna go over Inferno because me and my team just finished both of our matches for this week. This week of ESCA season 26 for IM, and currently since we finished anything, I feel comfortable talking about our strats and like what we did and like how we played this map. I'm just gonna go ahead and start off with the facts. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and show like setups. Oh, I'm gonna retry this. I'm gonna show setups. What we did for Inferno, like how you should play Inferno. You should have a general idea of it as an IGL, and then I'm gonna show you my perspective. Um, when I played this match, our last league match where we won 16-6, against X13, I want to say. And then from that point, you guys can just understand. I'll talk a little bit what I call, in certain scenarios on Inferno based off of like what they're doing, how they're positioned, what utility they're throwing, basic stuff like that. Let's go ahead and start off with this. So when you're starting off with this as a new IGL and you have your teammates, you want to position them in the best places possible. So let's start off CT side. All right. Okay. Well, technically start CT side. So, so the first thing I do is I position my opper. I put my opper in the first spot, so I put him toward arch. He plays first bracket. His job as an opper on CT side is to hold first bracket for as long as he can until the enemies will throw utility at him, flashes, smokes, mollies to flush him out. Then he backs up to second bracket. From that point, he'll take a shot, maybe throw utility, fall off as well. And at that point, he falls off the third bracket, either holds arch or watches for the porch run up, or goes moto. Depending on what the operator is comfortable with, depending on what's going on positioning like, it's all going to be scenario based. Your operator should know how to play off of it and kind of like play off of what the enemy team is doing based off of their strat, whether they're doing an arch wrap, whether they're doing an A wrap, um, maybe they're doing a B wrap through arches, or maybe they're doing an A wrap through moto, or maybe they're just doing a full A execute. Depending on like how your operator is gonna take that scenario is gonna be on him, and also like what his teammates are watching as well. So let's say the opera's moto, and everyone fell off of first bracket, so there should be one moto, maybe one site, whether he's close here, up here, engrave. Those are the three positions, and then the third guy should be in pit. That should be the three positions. The FU back up from first bracket. So let's talk about the second and third guy. You basically want, for porch side, you want two guys that are gonna be playing together really well. For what we did was we'd play one here, holding back hall end, and then one boosted up here, to where he either held close end. If he was holding close end, then there'd be one under here as well, and we'd be holding double close, and the archer would play, the opera would play arch. And at this point, there's a double crossfire. So let's say they smoke off this side, porch side mid, and they want to hit a wrap at that point. So then they flash the smoke as well. They start pushing over here. Most likely, they turn around. By the time they turn around to like check the smoke, guy up here is most likely getting this kill. He's most likely seeing them first, getting that kill, and then falling off to a different position. And then porch side as well. If he knows they're wrapping, he can just fall off that completely, and then know that the guy above him is gonna hold that, and then just focus on apps. We either do that positioning, or a lot of times we ran this a lot of times in our matches. I would go up here, I would hold this corner, wait out. I would try to save as much utility as I could for mid, let the opper kind of hold it from our side, while my secondary teammate was right here playing off of me, watching the apps push out. And if Arch had a back up, and let's say they were taking, if they smoked Arch and then flashed it as well, we called the back off, we would fall back, um, to one site and then one pit from that setup. So there would be one moto with the op, one site or around this area, and one pit, either balk edge on the ground, playing like that general crossfire. So you guys are both your crosshairs from pit is gonna be here, and then site is gonna be here. So you guys have the same crosshairs on the general kind of setup. And while apps is kind of like, or operas kind of focus on like the general like push out from apps or like the push out from porch, depending on what's going on and how the scenario plays out. So that should be your A guys. What we do is we call this like first bracket control and second bracket control, or fallback. So we hold first bracket for as long as we can until they start throwing utility into apps, trying to get control of it. We said, okay, we're gonna fall off this, save our utility. So fall off a little bit, wait it out. If you hear them rushing, at that point you're gonna have to use utility and then fall back as well. Kind of just like pop off some flashes wherever you can and work off whatever you can. But depending on the scenario goes. So that's it for your A players. Your B players, it's really important as an IGL, you're conveying to your teammates on CT side, like the crossfires you want them to play. Because you need them playing crossfires. Because I made this mistake on our first couple of matches in scrims as well, not conveying CT setups. So I thought like since we're an IM, the players at that caliber would be a little bit more like, okay, since like knowing to play crossfires like with each other and their teammates on site. But it's actually a very like you really need to convey it out as an IGO, because that could be the hugest like difference between a round win on CT side or a round loss. Um, and also like backing up as well. It's like it's kind of like you guys have to back up together, because if one person's up close and the other two people are fell back, then it's gonna create a lot of round losses if you're not playing together on that. So for B, what we decided to do from here, off the start of the round, I would want my B players needing nut banana. So the first two people would throw nades. Let's pretend those are nades. Frag grenades. So then the nades would land right about bottom T stairs area, right around mid banana. So if they're rushing it, it would hit them and slow them down. If we heard them already got past, at that point we'd be forced to use one of our mollies. So we'd have to molly and then fall back at that point. Keep your gun out just in case they're pushing. From there, it depends like how you want to play this crossfire, because there's many crossfires you can play. Let's say they're already up at car, they've already pushed into car control. At that point, you're gonna have to use one of your utility, smoke it off. You want to save as much of your utility at B as much as possible and as long as possible in case they get control and then decide to fall off and fake, maybe come back. You want to have as much utility as possible. So what I would do is, let's say if they have control of this, I would boost a teammate up here. They would go up here, they would hold up close, and the other teammate would be holding here as well. And this is perfect for eco rounds as well. So what you do is you let the guy up on this ledge become first contact. So as soon as they're walking through, they're focused on here clearing sight. This guy's getting first contact from up there, so he's killing that first guy. So the second guy is going to be, okay, first guy's up here. So he's going to look for him, and as soon as he wides out to look for him, that's when this guy peeks out. So there's easy double kill right there. At that point, use whatever utility you can to stop and like to kill the guys pushing it through, because that's where it's really important. That's a good strat for egos as well. I would say if you have an opera here, I know a lot of operas like to go coffin. I would say this is a good spot, but if they smoke you off from coffin from here, then you're kind of in a bad spot, because you either have to retreat or you have to push through the smoke. And as an opera, I don't really think going back here is necessarily the best spot. So it's kind of like you want riflers here as much as possible. Another good crossfire is first oranges. And where did we play the cross at? I think it was first oranges and CT. And then CT guy would throw utility, fall back, and then pick up coffins at that point. If they smoke out coffins, then he would push through, because he has to support his teammate first oranges. So he would just wait for he would play on the edge of the smoke, wait for first oranges to make first contact, and then he swings out and trades off for first oranges. Those are really good crossfires over at CT side. Those are really important to have. Make sure like your positioning is together, your crossfires are together, and then retaking. You want to keep as many nades up as possible, because if you give these Ts the opportunity to waste a lot of your utility at CTs, that gives them the opportunity to like hit a site with complete utility, and your forces A players to come over here and retake with just an AK or just a rifle and no utility to retake with. And let me tell you, that's super difficult. Most of the times you're gonna have to save because you don't have utility. So it's really important to keep that utility if you want to win a lot of rounds on CT side. So let's hop over to CT T side as an IGL. What I would do if you're an IGL on a map like this is it's really important that you have presence of map control. What you want to do is you want to establish a default, whatever your default might be. It might vary. Our default necessarily was let's start off with the opera again. The opera would come up T mid, and he would hold the mid cross, and if no one peeked mid, or if let's say they smoke mid, at that point he would either help out B after the first 15 seconds, help out B, or he would go to, to alt mid and help out mid guys as well, take mid control. So, so that's the op right there, right? So the first and second guy as well, you want the guys that are kind of in a sense like you. I would say you would want your entry fragger and second man running for banana control. Necessarily, we didn't run that when we ran this map, but I think it's really the best thing to do is their entry and second man to get banana control together. So what you want to do is you want to molly off. First person who wants to spawn out of the three guys is going to be mollying off car. They're going to molly off car so they can't push up. At that point, the guy who mollied car should be throwing this flash as well and holding up close, holding up for the push, the aggression. Let's leave a rifle there. Just visualize that. Second guy could be coming up as well. He's gonna. This should be mollied off. That should close should be flashed, so he doesn't have to worry about it. He should be able to bring out a molly and molly off sandbags. At this point, you're clearing banana control. You're taking it, and then pair it with the flash. I usually pop a flash up there. Throw a little bait shot in first. So they kind of commit to. And then just because like most of the time if there's an operator there and he sees a flash but hears a shot, he's gonna try to stick with it just so he can try to get one frag, but he's gonna be blinded and then he's gonna get fucked basically. Or if it's just a rifle, most of the time they'll just smoke off banana and then they'll fall back to site. So at this point, what you would do is you grab control of banana right here. Your rifler that should have been right here is going to push up to here at this point and kind of hold and lurk out. He's gonna lurk out banana. At that point as an IGL, you should fall back, let him hold control of it. So that way if you want to hit late round you can. And then the A guy, and this is where you come into your team. We're gonna talk about the A guys over here on the other side of the map. So on this other side of the map, you're gonna have your two A guys. I would say this is probably your lurk player, and then possibly your third man in. So I would have one person come up here to jump up. Probably it doesn't matter which one of them, but like one of them. Like I now alternate it as well. What I do is when I go for abs control on the other side of the map. So what you're doing is on your default is you're establishing control of the map, like I said earlier. You're going for a banana control, and you're also going for abs control. Those are the two sections that are really important. And you'll see that when we go over the demo. So like what we do is we would either double haul. We would double peek haul. One person would swing wide, and one person would be close. And at that point, if we're going for long haul control, flash in the cubby, peek. This person swings wide as well. The person swings wide, and the other person's gonna be close. So you guys are taking double contact together. If you're doing that double halls peek, if you're going for one halls and one jump up, I suggest mauling window off the start. So when you break the glass, like when you're running up here from spawn, throw a molly in a window, come up on the jump up right here. And take a peek from there at that point. After that, I would clear out this side and then wait for your guy to come upstairs as well, so you guys can double peek together. So you peek in 3, 2, 1, and then double peek long haul. At that point, once you have long haul control, you convey that to your IGL. He's gonna be running up mid to help you guys out. He's gonna be okay. You guys have long haul control. So possibly, let's say you haven't got a kill at this point yet, or maybe you got one kill. At that point, if you get one kill, it's really good because you can draw off rotates really easily. So let's say you would throw an arch smoke, flash on top of it. Your guy runs out from boiler, and you guys take take bracket control. At that point, you get 1 kill for bracket. You commit the fake to A side at this by throwing a moto smoke. And then a flash as well.